Good morning, everyone. The Great Resignation, discontent is a major problem for organizations. What can you do about it? This challenge can be a tremendous opportunity for yourself and your organization by improving how you manage. So, today on 10 at 10, we're going to have a fireside discussion about the Great Resignation, discontent with Kristi Royse. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Paula Madison Sierra um, of Power Marketing SF and the host of 10 at 10. Today on the show, we're going to have Kristi Royse, nationally recognized speaker, leadership development, presentation coach extraordinaire. Thank you, Miss Kristi, for being on the show. I so appreciate you. Good
I'm
morning.
thrilled to be here today, Paula. Thank you.
Hey, so um, I always love hearing everyone's origin story of how they got into their area. I know we all started all over the place, gathered information, but how did you get to the place that you are in right now?
Oh gosh, great question, Paula. Well, does anybody remember Boston Market?
Oh, yes.
Restaurant chain extraordinaire. I was brought in as the CEO and founding partner of Boston Market when there were 7 restaurants in the country.
Wow.
We built the California franchise, and when I left, at that point, I was vice president of leadership training and development. We had 1,200 restaurants. Did I love every chicken I cut? No. But did I love building their training program? Absolutely. And to be honest with you, Paula, really arduous for me to leave, but I kind of saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
They were not going to be the next made the greatest and best of everything. So I left after many years and said, you know what? Why don't I start my own consulting company? And that was 20 years ago. And that's when KLR Consulting was born.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And they started with such a fabulous bang. I really thought they would be around for a lot longer. I thought they would be one of those, franchises that stayed.
Believe me, I did too. But the beauty of it is I think so many leadership coaches and consultants really don't understand how to run a business. And that's a true value that I think I gained through those years is really understanding day in life of an entrepreneur, of a leader running a business. And I bring that depth of knowledge and talent into my coaching practice and would not trade it for the world.
Yeah. Oftentimes I think business owners who aren't actively learning, maybe they don't realize that you know what you know and you know what you don't know, and you have to embrace that because everyone starting a business knows what they know and knows what they don't know, but it's how you solve that gap that's a bigger issue, right?
Well,
So I think that kind of rolls us into all your experience at Boston Market with all the, I'm sure, so many people that you had to train as they went into their franchises and led. Um, Now that you're seeing all the things that are going on, explain to us exactly what is the great resignation and discontent trend as you see it.
Well, Paula, it's really I like to call it, yes, the great resignation, discontent, also the great reassessment and evaluation. What a great opportunity it is to take a couple steps back and say, what is happening? Because it is a problem for so many organizations. And to really rethink our current situation. My approach and the way I work with my clients is not to say, oh my gosh, everybody's leaving, let's panic. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's to take a couple steps back and assess and say, what are we doing to rebuild our culture?
Mm,
We cannot be leading the way we were 10 years ago because we are a different culture. We are different companies. We are different company faces. And employees have done a lot of reassessment. I go back to that Ferris Bueller's Day Off quote, if everybody remembers, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to do this anymore. So many employees are kind of reassessing not just their jobs, but their life, where they want to work, who they want to work with, when they want to work. So we can't continue to manage how we were before. We need to reassess our culture.
All right. So, well, we've read a lot of surveys, right, about them actively searching and leaving. Of course, some folks were very happy that they're leaving, so that's okay. What are the causes, as you see it, of this?
Most important, employees feel undervalued. They feel undervalued. They feel underappreciated. They don't have friends at work anymore. This working in a virtual environment is arduous for them. And if I will say, and I will say this word probably 20 times in our fireside chat today, Paula, the word valued.
Wow.
Employees need to feel valued. Different ways for different employees is an important piece of this. But if we think about all of Gallup's work, I'm sure most people are familiar with Gallup, but they have a great survey. And I want to read just a few things on here. And this is, pardon me?
Go for it. Yeah.
There are 12 things that managers and cultures can do to increase employee engagement. And do you know numbers 4 through 7? In the last 7 days, I have received praise or recognition for a job well done. Do we do that? My supervisor or someone cares about me as a person. Okay, which football team are you rooting for? It better be the 49ers. There is someone at work who encourages my development. And at work, my opinions seem to count. And this is Gallup's research. Think about it. How are you making your employees feel valued? If your employees feel valued and you're building a culture that is positive, reinforces all these things, your employees are going to be a heck of a lot harder to poach because their eyes are not going to be open.
So what element of the culture do you think matters most to these employees? I mean, because of course everyone automatically goes to pay. But I'm feeling that it's not just pay is what I'm hearing. Are there elements of our culture that we should be really looking at with a fine-tooth comb?
Harvard just did a survey. Harvard Business Review just did a survey a month ago, asking employees what was most important to them coming from their manager. 57% said the word. I want everybody just to guess what you think it might be.
Oh my goodness. I feel like the word value keeps popping up.
Yes.
The folks are listening to them. There's trust. I'm hearing that across the board right now for so many different areas. So,
Paula, you've hit it in the round circle because it's really one main focus. It's communication.
Communication.
They want more communication. Number 2 was they want to be developed at 37%. And number 3 was they want to feel motivated. You're right. All of that is valued and trusted. But if what we need to be doing, it's not throwing pay at it. That's not what they want. Again, what we said earlier, they want to be valued. They want more communication. They want to know their opinions count. They need to know what's expected of them at work. Another big disconnect, and especially with the virtual environment. Managers believe that they're communicating those expectations, not working.
There is, and I'm hoping to have her on the show as well, but Adrienne Dale, and I'm giving you a shout out, Miss Adrienne Dale, who gave me some great advice, and it's been working so well for me, which is don't just be in the meeting and say this is what I'd like to be done, but have them reflect and mirror it back at you. let them write it out, let them take the notes, let them speak about it, and send it to you, making sure that you're on the same page. And it
Great
was such a
practice.
simple concept. I'm like, why wasn't I doing that before? It's like these little things that make such a big difference, you know? Yeah, absolutely. That
And
one,
then you fill in the cracks. What did they miss? You're filling in the cracks, but you hold them responsible. And that's also, Paula, thank you for bringing that up, because that also really comes back to a word you said earlier, which is so important, and that is trust. Trust is such a key part of communication. It's such a key part of being valued. In fact, if anybody is not familiar with a concept called the 5 dysfunctions of a team, Patrick Lencioni, one of my favorite authors. He wrote this book, and his philosophy is trust is the core behind any relationship. And I'll quickly go through the 5, but if you have healthy trust, you have healthy conflict, which is positive.
yes.
You want conflict. Conflict is healthy, people are engaged. Then healthy conflict leads to commitment, number 3. You can agree to disagree, but if everybody's opinions have been shared, you are committed to the direction. Commitment then leads to accountability. It's self-accountability, and it's also, again, expectations, holding each other accountable, but holding each other accountable without swatting the stick all the time. And then accountability, with you have all those 4, it leads to results.
Nice.
Better, more effective results. And all of this comes back to trust. All of this comes back to communication.
Oh, well, yeah, and I don't think we're learning how to speak and how to listen. I mean, I don't remember getting a class in college on listening, effectively. That's something that you had to learn on your own, wasn't it?
Oh,
It's, and even when we do go to training, it's information getting plowed at you sometimes and really not looking at where we currently are. So that rolls me into my next question to you. How should we then be managing? Because, yes, COVID, we've been in it for 2 years now, but the reality, it's changed for a long time now. And folks have not paid attention to the rapid change that have happened. And they're still managing like about 50 years ago, and using that template on this period of time. How should they be managing in this new virtual world?
well, I do go back to communication, Paula, because it is not everybody wants to be communicated to the same way. We need to adapt and adjust our communication style depending on whom we're working with.
Yeah.
At KLR Consulting, we use a tool called the DISC assessment, which is a fabulous tool that enables managers and leaders to better understand what is their own communication style, and then what are the people that they're working with, the people that are working for them, what is their communication style?
Oh, wow.
And it allows them then to really assess and then adapt and adjust.
So the entire team is taking the DISC assessment, not just the managers.
Absolutely. Well, we do have some little tricks on people reading as well, that we can guesstimate where people's thoughts might land and then within this DISC circle. But for the most part with my clients, yes, everybody is taking the assessment. And so the beauty of it is you learn how to manage up. So the employees are learning to communicate differently with their managers. The managers learn to manage down differently, and then we learn to cross communicate. So it's such a valuable tool.
I love that. I did something in general, but I really need to take a DISC assessment.
Oh, Paula, we got you covered.
Yay.
You love it.
I'm
Well, and the
pretty
second tool, I'm sorry, Paula, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to say, because I get so, you can tell I
Go
get so
for it.
passionate about this. The second piece that I strongly am encouraging managers to really reassess, back to your question, is onboarding.
Oh, wow. Yes.
We have 90 days, which was in the past. Now, research is proving with COVID, we have 33 days to win employees over quickly. And think about it. In the last 2 years, anybody that you've hired most likely has not even met anybody in person yet. So onboarding is such a key success factor. And what we're finding with a lot of our clients is they spend so much time recruiting, bringing in these great new employees, and then it's like, see you later, bye.
Yeah.
Not going to work. So really, I implore everybody to really think about, how do you onboard your employees? And how do you really set them up for success so that they do feel a part of your team, a part of your culture? Such an important aspect of this. And that one word we keep coming back to, how do they feel valued?
They feel valued. So I'm going to throw out the obvious question. I mentioned it earlier. Salaries, benefits. Are there perks that really matter to the client? Because the thing that my ears hears is value, and value is not always money. Um, what are you hearing, Chrissy?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not hearing it to be money. And I could throw out so many statistics and figures for you, but it really isn't. They want to work where they want to work, number one. If they're going to work virtually and they feel like moving to Montana, they want to be able to move to Montana and still work for a startup in Silicon Valley. They want to have a best friend at work. They want to connect with people, as I've said. That's something that is really important to them. It is important to them to be listened to, something you brought up before, that they want to know that their managers care about them. It's a lot, to be really honest, it's a lot of what we've already talked about, but it is not money. And it's not throwing, a DoorDash card or a Pete's card, or it's not those little perks that we think is going to win people over. It's, what are leaders doing? What are leaders doing to show that they are living their values?
When I first moved to San Francisco, I was working part-time at a startup. And I remember the first day walking in, and I looked up and there was this massive slide coming down from the third floor.
I love it.
The more that I was there, though, the more I realized all the pizzas and the bar and the slide and all of these other things did not make it a great environment. It was just stuff. So again, with that thought that you just shared, realizing that it was changed a while back. No one was paying attention.
Great point.
And so now we're forced to, because we're here, right? And we've had a lot of time to sit by ourselves at home, and really reassess, like you said. So I'm going to jump straight to this question, because I want to make sure I give you enough time. And it probably still isn't enough time for it. But what can managers do to increase their effectiveness?
Oh, I've got so many, but
Yeah, that's a
I
big
would
one.
say, number one, really reassess how you're communicating. Really spend some time thinking about that. With that, listening skills. You're right. Research proves 2% of managers and leaders have ever had any training on listening, on effective listening. And I'll be honest, people suck at it. We need to think about improving listening. And there is a resource I'm going to mention that's really stellar. It's called First Round Review. Fabulous articles. I'll warn you, the articles are very, very long, but every single article of them, I just wrap because it is rich with content. They have a stellar article on effective listening. And I'll make sure that we add this into the content so everybody has it. But it was so funny. I was telling Paula as we were preparing today, just as I'm logging on for this fireside chat, there is an article called, I have to tell you the exact thing it's called. It's
Go for it.
Management Training Probably Sucks. Here's how to make it better. Exactly what the article's called. So that's the other thing is, yes, managers need listening training, but they need training. They are now working with fewer people. They're doing more jobs. Work life is different, but who's giving them training and how to adapt and adjust to be more effective in this new world? They're not.
Let me ask you a question. This is what I just heard. And, again, this is your landscape. So let me know, Paula, we're already there. But of course, managers need to be more effective. But if we all suffer from the issue of not being able to listen well, should this be training for the entire team then? not just the managers, because it's communicating on both sides, right? We both need to know how to listen well. And it seems to me like the training is shifting from the mechanics, right? Because our people are coming in with great skills already. It's, you do this for X amount of time, you're going to become an expert over a period of time.
Right.
Good, that's easy. But it's the headspace items it seems that we're focusing on right now. Um, what's your thoughts about that?
Ideally, yes, is my big answer to that stellar question, Paula, because I'm going to give a quick example. I am doing a lot of consulting work for a very successful accounting firm here in the peninsula. And we took all of their partners through this DISC assessment training, and they learned the value of effective listening and enhanced communication. They found it so successful that they decided to take it to the management level. So we took it down to the management and supervisor level. We started this, Paula, 2 years ago. Now, 600 plus people have gone through these workshops. So when I talk about the value of training, when I talk about learning to manage up, manage down, and manage sideways, it is amazing the impact that this overall training has had on the firm. In fact, I actually had a call with the managing partner yesterday, and he told me that they did an employee engagement survey within the firm, and it has increased by 43% from 2 years ago, where most companies are going the other way around.
They must be so happy. I mean, but then again, they put the work in, right? And not all companies are willing. They say it a lot. It looks really good on the mission statement, but not everyone is actually doing it. So I'm always excited when I meet a company that says, no, we're done. We're going to do this. I love that. And then they hired you, by the way.
Not a bad choice.
Exactly.
The impact has just been amazing, and to hear people get excited about learning and development. So, again, when you talk about, Paula, what do employees want? They want to grow. They want to learn. They don't want to be stagnant. And it's not just the technical skills, as you alluded to. So, yes, employees want to be valued. They also want to be trained. They want to be seen as investments to their companies.
I love it. Like, why put all of this energy in to find someone with the right skills and then you set them up for failure,
Right.
you know? So my big takeaway from today is communication, listening, speaking, communicating well, and really hearing your employees. And on the other side, shout out to the employees who are listening as well, learning to listen as well. It's a circle, right? And I feel like I definitely have to make sure I box this discussion in because there's so many pieces that could branch out from this, right? Um, Kristi, this was great information. Thank you so much for really sharing some of these insights. For me, the big one also was understanding your onboarding because it's only 30 days now, versus the 90 that we used to lock into our head, right? Um, so thank you for the great information today. So, viewers, please reach out to our guest today for more information. Reach out to her for, a quick consultation, see if this is something that works for your business, your company, yourself. And as always, of course, when you're ready for your marketing, once your operations been cleaned up, please reach out to Power Marketing SF for a discussion. Kristi, how can they contact you, stay in touch with you for all this great learning and information, by the way?
Well, thanks, Paula. And I have one quick closing comment that I want to leave everybody with, and then we'll go on to the contact stuff. We talk about the 4 C's.
Mm-hmm.
4 C's in all of our training, in whether you're a leader, an employee, a manager. Competence leads to confidence, leads to credibility, leads to courage.
Mm.
You can be the courageous leaders if you have the other 3 in place. So where are you in that 4C scale? So would love to share any more with you. So please, Kristi@klrconsulting.com. We have a newsletter we send out about every 6 weeks. So it's not, we're not jamming your inbox all the time, but would love to have an opportunity to connect with any and all of you. So Paula, thank you for this great
Oh,
opportunity.
no,
As you can tell, I'm passionate about the subject.
absolutely. And I love it. I am going to drop that link below so that everyone will have it. I know that you've already sent it to me. Kristi, do you have a quote for me that like encapsulates what we've spoken about today? Learning for our guests, our viewers.
A quote. I'm a famous quote person. Let's see. I guess for today, what comes up for me? Success without a plan is just an accident.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love the other part of that, which is it's just a wish. It's just a wish, without a plan, it's just a wish. Thank you so much for being on. Viewers, my continued mission statement is to introduce you to my great referral partners like Miss Kristi Royse today and have them share their expertise with you and introduce them. Like I said, you know what you know what you don't know. And I would love to continue to expose you to all of these fantastic expertise available. And of course, to offer you some marketing tips as well, because I do shows on that as well. Every Thursday at 10 a.m. on live on LinkedIn. Viewers, you continue to amaze me. Thank you so much for sharing the content, making comments, reaching out on the DM. I really appreciate that. And as always, please keep moving forward. Take care, everyone. Bye. Thanks again, Kristi.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.